Hello and welcome to FanTeam's countdown stream with me, Andy, FPL Teach Mode, and I'm joined by the love of my life, Luke Irons. How's it going?
It's going very, very well, mate. It's a major tournament, international football. What better things are there in life?
I know, I literally can't wait. I am literally just going to put in the chat whether everything's working okay, just to make sure that it all looks good, because obviously we're going to be on a bit of a delay anyway. But yeah, finally the Euros are here. We've waited so long. We've obviously got this massive tournament that FanTeam are putting on for us, £1 million prize pool. We've been waiting, we've been entering our teams, and now finally it's going to start. On a scale of 1 to 10, roughly how excited are you?
10 out of 10, always. As soon as a major tournament comes around, you revert back to being a 6-year-old again, don't you?
Yeah.
I remember my first ever World Cup in 2002 was the one I enjoyed the most as a kid, and you just go back to being a child, sitting there in awe of these world-class footballers, and it's going to be amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, really is. Really is. I literally can't wait. And this is the first one I've watched, I think, where I've had different things riding on it, if that makes sense. Like, because of fantasy football and stuff as well, and because of FanTeam with kind of playing for money as well. It's the first time I've really done that. And I've always loved it anyway, but it kind of adds that extra level, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And yes, there's definitely a lot more riding on it for you. You've got quite a lot of teams. I've got one to focus on. I've got one to focus on. You're managing about 28 different teams, aren't you?
28. No, I've got 12 teams. I've got 12 teams for the Euros. But I don't. Do you know what? I feel okay with 12 teams. I feel like 12 teams is a good amount to have. I quite like the idea of, by the way, of having both of us on here, where you've got one, so we're going to look at your entry, and then I've only picked one of my entries to show you. But I really like that. I like the idea of seeing what your entry would be like if you only had one entry. I think that's a good thing to do. People are saying you're a bit quiet, by the way, bud. I don't know whether you can turn yourself up or whether I can turn you up. Yeah, I'll try and turn you up. There we go. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, shall we have a look at the Italy lineup, mate?
Go for it. Go.
Lovely stuff. So this is how we are looking. So Turkey have Kakir in goal, Çelik, Demirel, Soyuncu and Yokuşlu. Tufan, Karaman, Kalanoglu, Yasiki, Meraz and Yilmaz up top. Obviously that 4.5 million bargain up front. Then we have Donnarumma in goal for Italy. Chiellini, Spinazzola, Locatelli and Florenzi at the back. Jorginho, Insigne, Berardi, Immobile up top, Barella and Bonucci at the back as well. Sorry, the way they're done is in squad numbers, so I'm a bit all over the place there with the things. But I don't think there's anything that we weren't expecting in there, is there?
No, that's exactly it. I was, as I said to you before we started streaming, I started making notes about 2-3 o'clock, and these were literally the 22 players I thought were going to start when I started getting notes together for the team. So yeah, quite happy with that.
Yeah, perfect. By the way, I should say before we say anything else, evening to everybody in the chat. We got Finn in the chat, we got David Peters in the chat, FPL Captain, Oi Captain, he's in the chat. I definitely wasn't texting you today saying please help me work this stream out. Qualathon's in the chat. Ben, evening in the chat. Ben, let me know how many entries you got in the end. FPL Raptor, he's also on about 50 entries as well. Evening Raptor. And Mac as well. Mac is in the chat too. I would love to know who has got the most entries in the chat. I really would like to know that, because some people on there, I've been looking at the entries people have put in, and I think some people are on like 2 or 3 pages by themselves. It's ridiculous. First question of the evening for you, Luke, from Sir Cartier. He's saying Bonucci or Spinazzola. Now I know you were asking me beforehand what my preference was. What would you go with?
Yeah, this is a really tough one, and it's probably the only move I'll make pre-deadline. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I'd love to hear your opinion on it, because Bonucci's definitely more nailed. We know that. It's 100% certain. But Spinazzola, his attacking stats this season have been fantastic. Obviously a bit more difficult to work out because he was playing as a wing back for Roma.
Yeah.
Whereas now obviously he's playing in a 4. So are those stats probably a bit heightened? Yes, they are. But a lot more likely to get those attacking returns in comparison to Bonucci. But will he be subbed off early? Is he going to get the full minutes? Is he going to miss a few games for Emerson when Emerson's got a bit more fitness back? He's just a question mark, and I'm not sure. I want to be dealing with that. I don't want to be making too many transfers, if I'm honest.
Yeah, do you know what? I think well done for not actually answering the question. What I'll Bonucci. Well, I like that. Do you know why? Because I'm going to go with Spinazzola. The reason I'm going to go with him is because I like the upside. I like the upside of wing backs. Wing backs and wingers are a nightmare in these short tournaments anyway, because you never know whether they're going to play the whole time. But for me, I think I prefer Spinazzola because we've got a bench. We've got a bench where if he is rested, we can get a player coming in. And if you've planned it properly and you've got a good bench, you can just put them in. And I don't see what an issue with that personally. In most of my entries, when I've gone for Italy, I've either gone for Florenzi or I've gone for Spinazzola. I've gone for one of the two.
Okay.
Just because I like the upside. Pardon?
I'm changing my team.
Are you?
Coming in.
Which one?
I'm going to change team number 1.
Lovely stuff. We've also got a question from Sean Machugo. He is asking Ronaldo or Bruno. I mean, that's an easy one for me. What do you think?
It's Ronaldo for me, all day long.
Yeah.
We know what he's about, don't we? I think he scored 104 international goals now. It just goes without saying, doesn't it? Bruno's had a fantastic season, but Ronaldo is probably the greatest footballer of all time. Ooh. Just the way it goes.
In Europe, anyway. In Europe. Yeah. But no, I'd be on Ronaldo as well. I think if Bruno was on pens, it'd be completely different. But Ronaldo on penalties, he's going to play every single game he's available for. Yes, Bruno will as well, but I think it's easy for me to say Ronaldo over Bruno. They're not badly priced either. So I think both of them. I do like the double up, mine. Nothing wrong with the double up at all. Raptor says he's only got 17 entries. That's not too bad. That's small time. You need to bump those numbers up, Raptor. Rob Pick, for a jammy git like me who got a high roller ticket, how template would you play it? Cheers, boys. Love to you both. Mainly irons. Now, this is something that I was thinking about earlier, and I didn't want to say too much to him because I feel like when you've got a high roller ticket and you're thinking about big money, you just want to be in your own thoughts. You don't want to think, oh, someone else told me that, so I did that, and that's what cost me. Like, I just wanted him to be left in his own thoughts. But if you had a high roller ticket, £500 a ticket, you could win 25 grand. What would you do?
So I think at the moment in the high roller, the top 7 get money back, and I think 7th place was about 2.5 grand, and first was about 8 grand.
Mm.
I think for me, I'd probably play it safe in the group stages.
Mm.
Go for the the template picks, as you might call them. Play it safe and make sure you're still in with a chance of top 7 come the knockouts, and then if you're top 15, top 20, then go a bit crazy. If you happen to be top, play it safe again. Because this isn't normal FPL anymore, is it? This is serious stuff. That's big money involved in this. So I think you want to give yourself a chance to kind of get to the end game and then play for the cash.
Yeah, fair enough. I think there's definitely two ways of looking at it. You either, like you said, play it safe in the group stages, go for the ones you know will do okay, and spread the risk over maybe a little bit. And then I would probably see whether I'm in for a chance, and then I'd probably go for it after the group stages. I'd wildcard and try and pick certain teams, I think, and really go for it. But it just depends what you want to do. I mean, if Rob's told his wife, then he definitely has to just go for the simple cash. But if he hasn't, maybe he can go for it a bit more. Ben Pizez says the same as us. Ronaldo, but both is nice. I completely agree. Vin Carter says, who is your captain this week? So in your one entry, Luke, should we have a look at your entry and you can talk us through your captain and everything as well?
Yeah.
Here we go. There is your entry. Talk us through your captain and everything, mate.
I thought Lukaku against Russia was just a very, very easy one. Russia have been in pretty poor form since qualifying for the tournament, not been great at all. And Lukaku's ridiculous. Lukaku's been unbelievable for 5 or 6 years now. I was talking about it in an article I wrote for FanTeam. I think he scored 49 goals in his last 51 games.
Cool.
Which is just ridiculous, and we know what he can do. He played very well at the last World Cup. Had a really good tournament, and I think it will continue into this.
Yeah, nice. I like it. Do you know what I was looking? I think I really like your team. You seem to have covered all the big hitters, haven't you?
Yeah, that's the aim. I think I've put the team together relatively well, and then the players that aren't from the big sides it's rotation. So Barkman and Shunin, they rotate well, and then the likes of Myla, Barisic, and Zeki Celik, I think the rotation that I can get out of those is pretty solid.
Yeah, and I have noticed you haven't gone for Ronaldo, you've gone for Bruno.
That's just purely because I prefer the other three strikers.
And yeah.
I think I got to my final pick and had 9 million in midfield and just went, Bruno will do.
Right, I'm just checking. Just going to turn the thing up a little bit. Because I think your sound is a little bit down.
Fair enough.
Yeah. In fact, what I'll do, I'm going to turn this up a bit so maybe we can hear you. Right. So should we have a bit more questions from the chat then? Because I think that is what people are mainly here for. And we're here for that. You know, we're literally here to help you with your dilemmas at the end. So FPL Finn says, who would you start, Myla or Alaba in match day 1?
I think you've got to start Alaba in that one, haven't you? Just purely given the fact he's out of position. He's classified as a defender, and he could be playing left midfield, left wing. That's just what we look for as fantasy managers, isn't it? A defender playing in midfield,
yeah,
amazing. Myla's obviously going to be getting forward, putting balls into the box, but for me, out of those two, Alaba's a pretty easy one.
Yeah, I do like Alaba, and there is that opportunity as well that if they're losing a game or if they want to go for a winner, he does get that a little bit more forward as well, doesn't he? And he starts to drift over to that left side a bit more because he does tend to play a bit more defensive mid, doesn't he, at the moment?
Yeah. I was trying to work out whether I wanted him in my team as a double up with Barkman, but it just got a bit confusing because he does literally play everywhere for Austria. He can play left mid, centre mid, defensive mid, centre half, left back. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to go for Bachmann and just I'll let Alaba do what he wants to do. Yeah. I'll leave him out.
No, good man. To be honest, I would be really torn between the both. And in a lot of my teams, what I've done, instead of going for Austria and Denmark as a pair, I've split them up. And I've gone for Austria in some and Denmark in some because they both have nice match day 1 fixtures. I can see them both doing well. And I don't really want to have points on my bench, so I'd rather have them in other teams playing this week and then bringing in other players for them next week because you've got teams like Ukraine, Russia, Sweden, all with nice fixtures next week, haven't you? So I'd rather have them on the bench than someone like Myla. I'd rather be playing him, really.
That's exactly what I've done with my goalkeepers. I went Barkman and Russia to rotate the fixtures. As you say, it doesn't really make sense to rotate Myla and Alaba because you want them to play the same weeks and you want to drop them in the same weeks. It just doesn't really make sense.
Yeah. David Peters reckons FF Ninja is going to be the winner. FF Ninja, you are a winner. You are a winner already, mate. You don't need to be another winner. Jesus, give someone else some money. Noddy's Party says, Insigne or Berardi or both?
I think I'd go with one or the other. Both of them are fantastic assets. They've been phenomenal this season, haven't they? And the thing I like about them is just the amount of shots they get away. Insigne especially, he's in the top 1% in Europe for attacking midfielders and wingers when it comes to shots on goal per 90. Yeah. 4 shots there. 4 shots every 90 minutes. Just ridiculous. Obviously scored 19 goals, 7 assists. I can see that continuing because they've got a very favourable group, haven't they?
Yeah, they do. And I've really thought about this a lot, and I think it's only because of the friendly that happened recently that people are starting to really consider double ups in attack for Italy. Otherwise, I was all over their defence, and I think I've started looking at putting just one attacker in my team. I think I've got one entry out of all 12 where I've got double attack, and that's Immobile and Insigne. Because I'm really worried about going too much on their attack. When I genuinely do think they're still going to be defensive first. I genuinely do. It's in their DNA, isn't it? So I really struggle to see them scoring tons of goals in this group stage.
Yeah, they've definitely improved though. They are far more progressive than they used to be. As you say, it's in their DNA. But you look back at 2018 when they failed to qualify for the World Cup. If you remember. The previous manager Ventura, when they were playing Sweden in the playoffs, he said to De Rossi, "Come on, get your trackies off. You're coming on." And De Rossi was like, "No, get Insigne on. We need to score a goal." And he was like, "No, De Rossi, you're on." And it caused a massive issue. And they obviously didn't score the goal and get through. Whereas since Mancini's come in, I think they scored 37 goals in their 10 games in qualifying. Yeah. So They are improving, but at the same time, they didn't concede goals. It's difficult to analyse teams like this, isn't it? Especially with qualifiers, because you're playing the likes of San Marino, Andorra, Estonia. So Italy could light up the tournament and go and score 20 goals in their 7 games, but at the same time, they could get 7 clean sheets and win it. There's just no real way of knowing.
Yeah, and I don't know whether it's because we're English and we're so used to England qualifying so well and then struggling in the major tournaments that we're really sceptical, aren't we? But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think I'd be a little bit worried going for both. I agree with Luke. I think if it was your one entry, I think I'd maybe pick Insigne and that's it. I'm not 100% sure whether Berardi's going to play every fixture, whereas I think Insigne will.
True.
FPL Raptor saying, does the fixture not put you off, Luke? Which fixture's that? Do you remember? Not sure. So Cartier says, who would you rather go for, Ferran Torres or Gnabry?
I would have said Ferran Torres, but that Spain squad's frustrating, obviously, with the issues they're having with COVID. We don't really know what's going on. So I'm probably going to end up steering clear of Spain in all fantasy games to do with the Euros, just because we have no idea what's going on. They've got a provisional squad of under-21s sitting there waiting, and they've Pablo Fornals of West Ham ready and waiting if he's needed, sort of thing. So yeah, I'm steering completely clear of him, and Gnabry he plays off the striker or up front for Germany. I think he's good value. He's 9 million, isn't he, on FanTeam? I think it's good value. Obviously the group puts you off, but he still plays for Germany and he's out of position up front. There's not much wrong with that pick.
Yeah, no, he's. I think Gnabry's a great pick personally. It's just a shame because their best fixture is match day 3. So could you look to change somebody in your team to Gnabry? I think that's going to be a really good shout. He's really good for Germany. FPF Ninja says, would you guys have an England asset? Would you guys have any England assets bar Kane?
To be honest, I didn't want any, but I thought Kane was so good in the group we got, I had to get him in. I wanted to avoid him completely just so that if Kane goes mad, I can enjoy it, and if he does nothing, it's not a double-edged sword. Yeah. I think the England assets have probably been a bit overpriced, if I'm honest. I think, what is it? Is Kyle Walker 7 million? Yeah. I think there's in every aspect, the goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, other than Kane, I think there's better assets at better prices across the board than England.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Do you know what, though? I really looked today. I think I was talking to our mate FPL Differential, and I was really talking to him about why not go for Sterling in a team, because he's going to play. Yeah. We're mostly. I mean, I think he is. I think it's going to be Sterling on the right and Foden on the left, and it's just. And I just think if Sterling plays, there's no reason why he can't do well. It's just the fact he's had a poor season for City, but he's had a great season for England. It's just the fact he's 11.5, I think he is. But then, is he a good placeholder for someone like De Bruyne if he comes back? I don't know.
Yeah. It's just we can't guarantee he's going to start, and if he does start, is he going to play the full 90? Probably not, because we've got so much attacking talent on the bench. I don't think even if he were to play, he'd get more than 65, 70 minutes. Yeah.
That's fair enough, to be fair. Katikto is asking, Wijnaldum, Pavard and Yilmaz or Çalhanoğlu, Stones and Zayuba? I know what I would be picking. What's your choice there?
Oh, that's tough, isn't it? I think I'd go for the latter. I think I'd go for the latter.
What, Çalhanoğlu, Stones and Zayuba? Would you? I'd go for the other one.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. I have grown to love Wijnaldum as the weeks have gone on, and where he plays for the Netherlands. Pavard is in a lot of my drafts, sitting on the bench, ready to come in next week. And Yilmaz, 4.5 million. He's going to be starting up front for Turkey. He's on their penalties. He's captain. I mean, you couldn't ask for more of a dream of a bargain, really. But I think I'd probably go for those 3. Why would you go for yours?
I think Stones is more likely to get clean sheets than Pavard there. I also think Çalhanoğlu is more likely to score goals than get goals and assists than Wijnaldum. I think he's very important to this Turkey side. and Juba versus Yilmaz is just luck of the draw, isn't it? You know, there's always going to be that one striker that you didn't expect to pop off to all of a sudden end the tournament on 7 goals, and either of those could be the one. Juba played very well at the last World Cup, so he does have previous.
Could be Isaac, mate.
Could be Isaac, yeah. Well-known striker Isaac, yeah. You put your foot in it on that one, didn't you?
Let's not go into that. FPL Raptor says, will you put off Lukaku captain because of the Russia fixture?
No, see, I genuinely quite like the Russia fixture. I think he'll do very, very well in that game. I think the World Cup last time was a one-off. I don't think they're a particularly talented squad with much about them, and I don't expect them to be anything like the Russia we saw in 2018.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, so having a look at the fixtures, and the fixtures are on the screen. When you're looking at that, I mean, for you, who do you think we're looking at and thinking that should be an easy win? Should be, you know, but not based on odds, based on what you're thinking. And who are you looking at thinking, I don't think this is going to be an easy as a game as people think it is?
I think that the obvious wins there are, you know, Denmark against Finland, Belgium, England,
Austria. See,
that's the one. I don't think the issue with North Macedonia is they did beat Germany 2-1 only last year, and it's one of those things where you think to yourself, is it a one-off? Because we see it in international football in qualifiers that you can get the odd shock. And it was that just a one-off shock, and they're actually bang average and the worst team in the tournament, or are they actually quite a good unit? I've got no real idea because I don't watch North Macedonia very often.
What?
Funnily enough.
What?
I'm sorry. I put my hands up. I'm not a North Macedonia fan. I apologise.
Jesus.
You would assume Austria would do it, but there's just a thing in the back of my head going, could North Macedonia be the one that out of nowhere get a draw and a win and get through in the group stage?
God, imagine. I can't see it personally. I do not see it at all. I've seen Alioski in some drafts and stuff, and I don't see it personally. Someone was saying to me the other day, but he's on pens. He's a defender on pens. It's like, yes, but that team has to get penalties for that defender to take penalties. Like it doesn't always work like that. Just because, but yes, I understand, and the excitement's there about it. But for me, I think Austria should win that game. I know you said England. I don't think that's an easy fixture as people think it is against Croatia.
I just don't rate this Croatia team anymore. I think they are. I think 2018 was optimal as they proved. 2018 was where they needed to do something, and they did it. Fair play to them. I think they're just a little bit over the road now. You look at all the players that had a good tournament. 3 years older, they're already late 20s, early 30s anyway, and I just think they're past it.
Fair enough. All right. Mac, by the way, is in the chat. He is asking, who's the best 5.5 million or below mid for game week 1? Mainly think between Zielinski, McGinn, and Soucek. I mean, I can answer based on somebody. I love Zielinski. I honestly think he could have a really good tournament. People are saying he's not as good for Poland, but I think the stage is set for him to have a good tournament. Lewandowski's in the form of his life for club. There's no reason why he can't emulate that for country this summer as well. So Zielinski would be my pick of those lot.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. But at the end of the day, Zielinski is one of Poland's best players. And when it comes to international football, you look at Wales in the last Euros, their whole team were built around Bale Ramsey. And I think Poland are likely to do the same. They've got a few very, very good players, Zielinski being one of them. If they utilise them all in the right way, they can build around those top players. For me, though, I would be going McGinn, which I know you don't agree with. I just think every time I watch Scotland, he's unbelievable. Looks like a completely different player. He runs the show. He's fantastic.
When I saw the options come up, I was like, I know what's going to happen. I'm going to go Zielinski. You're going to go McGinn. I just knew it was going to happen. Noddy's Party saying, who's the best midfielder for 7.5 million or below?
I can't look past Ericsson. I think that fixture's fantastic. I think, as you say, who do I think is the best or most likely to win this first game week? Probably Denmark.
Yeah.
And he's their main man, isn't he? He's fantastic for Denmark, always has been. Whenever Denmark need a player to pull them through, Eriksen's the man.
I think with the new scoring as well, I think it's really hard to look past him. I don't mind Shaqiri. I think Shaqiri's fine. I think he could do okay against Wales. I haven't put him in any drafts though because I'm not overly enthusiastic about him. I still think Wijnaldum's a good option personally. I think you've also got. I think being quite overlooked is Yuri Tillemans. I think he could do okay this group stage. I feel like he's going to be on a lot of set pieces because they haven't got Hazard in there. I'm just wondering whether he could be somebody that's gone completely under the radar. Like literally, could be completely under it. But apart from that, I do completely agree with Eriksen. He's in so many of my drafts; it's unbelievable. I'm just trying to look at some of the other players here. What's your thought about Gareth Bale then?
I was going to say, what do you think about Gareth Bale?
Do you know what? I spoke about him in one of my recent videos on Draft Gym TV. By the way, if nobody's subscribed to Draft Gym TV, make sure you give it a little plug there. I think there aren't many midfielders in this tournament that can bag braces, and I think he is genuinely one of them. And I think for 6 million, why not? It's tough because I don't expect him to do that much in the group stages, but at the same time, he genuinely is one of those players that could be world class on his day and can score a hat trick on his day. So, and when you look down the list of players that are 7 million or less, he does stand out a bit, I think.
Oh, 100%. And once again, as I say, as the Wales team always is, it is built around him.
Yeah.
They now don't even bother playing a striker. They just play a false nine to quickly get the ball and chip it over the top into Gareth Bale and Dan James. That's all they do. That's the game plan.
Yeah.
And he's on free kicks, he's on pens, he's on corners. It's not bad, is it?
Just unreal, isn't he?
Yeah.
So getting on to that second half of what we were talking about then. Netherlands, people, I think, looked at that fixture to start with and thought, oh, against Ukraine, that's lovely. But at the same time, it might not be as easy as we think it is.
No, definitely not. And Netherlands aren't the team that they were 10 years ago, are they? You know, built around Robben, Schneider, Van Persie. The best player now is Depay. Like in the attacking areas, they're not oozing class. And the team that they look like they could be, not quite getting there. De Jong had an okay season for Barcelona. De Ligt not progressing as we hoped after the seasons he had for Ajax. They could get there in a few years. I don't think they're ready to do anything this tournament. The only thing that they do have in their favour is if they do win the group, they could end up in a very, very favourable side of the tournament in the knockouts and get to the semi-final in a similar vein to England, where you get to the semi-final by default.
Yeah, and do you know what? They're one of my biggest boom or bust teams for me this year. It's them and Spain, actually. I feel like they're both very, very similar for me, where their team seems to be in a real transition. The rumours that I'm hearing that Netherlands aren't very happy about De Boer and everything, I think is really in my head as well. But I've either completely faded them in an entry or I have gone triple Holland in an entry because I feel like they could either go one way or the other. Defensively, I'm not too happy with them. I think they could be a bit awful defensively, but a bit awful, not a lot, just a bit. And then what about Poland, mate?
Poland's such a tough one, isn't it?
Tough, I know.
Poland are a side that I feel like you go into every single major tournament going, what do you reckon about Poland? Like they could be the dark horses, and then they never end up being the dark horses. Yeah. I remember the last Euros, they were on the side of the draw with Portugal, and I remember thinking to myself, if Poland get themselves through this game against Portugal in the last 16, they'll get to the final.
Yeah.
And then I believe they lost in extra time or on pens to Portugal, and then obviously Portugal went on to. And I can see it being much of the same. They'll probably come second or third in their group, get through, and lose in the last 16 like they do regularly in major tournaments.
Yeah. And then last but not least, I'll probably talk about. I mean, obviously we got France and Germany, which I think a lot of people, if you've only got one entry, it's been tough to fit any of those players in your team. Yeah. But then Hungary, Portugal.
I mean, if Portugal don't absolutely blow them away, I'd be shocked. Hungary aren't as bad of a side as people are making out. It's just they've got a very unlucky group.
Yeah.
I see that being a 3-0, 3-1.
Oh, I've just got a free ticket on FanTeam. Oh God, I've got to make a team.
Oh, for goodness sake!
I'll tell you what, quickly, we can do this on the stream. Who should I pick? Go, go, go.
What? Everybody puts a player they want you to pick.
Go, go, go. Right, goalkeeper. What teams am I targeting here?
All right. We're gonna. What teams have you not targeted yet? Let's go for a completely random one.
This is. I don't know. Let's have a look. Well, Hungary, but I'm not bloody going for that. I haven't got many Scottish players.
All right. Let's go for a Scottish double up.
Scottish double up. Okay.
I want Che Adams and Kieran Tierney.
Ugh. Really?
Yep.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you McGinn. There you go. Shea Adams and McGinn. Who's next? No pressure, but you've got 14 minutes.
What are we looking at in Group A? Who do you like in Group A outside of Italy? Turkey, Wales, or Switzerland?
Turkey.
All right. How about Zeki Celik for 4 mil and Yilmaz or Chaneloglu, whichever one you want?
Zeki Celik and I'll go for Kalinoglu.
Cool.
And then we got to go big somewhere. Where am I going to go big?
Let's go big on England. It's coming home. Let's get a big England triple up.
Go on then. Right, big on England. Right.
You wanted Sterling?
Ooh.
Make your Sterling draft.
Go on then. This is my Sterling draft. Defender. I'll go for Stones to be cheap. And then what? Kane?
Yeah, Kane and Sterling.
Oh wow, this is looking interesting already. You've only got 54 million left. We've only had I've only got 7 players. Right, I need to go cheap. I'm going to put Bachmann in, so I've got a cheap one. Yeah, and then I'll go for an Austrian defender as well. Do you know what? I'm going to go for Dragovic, so I don't owe him any.
Cool.
Yeah, people are saying Sterling in there. I like it. Rich is in the chat. Evening, Rich. Dimitris Theodoropoulos is in the chat as well. Hey, Rich. And then Dasher Dude says Sterling. I'll put Sterling in. He's in there. So I've got Sterling, Kane, and Stones. And then this is how it's looking at the moment, just in case you can't see. There it is. I've got 46 million left for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for 6 players.
Okay.
Who's going to be my other striker?
How many teams have you got with? Have you got like a big German team?
I do, 1.
Should we add a bit of German? Add a bit of Germany?
Muller?
Yeah, I was going to say, is Muller a striker?
He is.
Yeah, get Muller in.
Right, I'm going to go Muller. I'm going to go Gnabry.
Mm-hmm.
And
Gosens.
Yeah, Gosens. We like Gosens, don't we?
Yeah, big time.
Okay, so I now need 3 players for 23 million.
What positions are we looking at?
Defender, midfielder.
Okay.
Oh, no, sorry. Defender, midfielder, goalkeeper.
And you've got Bachmann.
I do.
So let's get the Russian geezer in. Shunin. Yep.
While I'm just doing this bit, mate, we've got some questions, I think. Cormac Dudes, what do you think of Rodriguez?
For Switzerland, I assume.
Yep.
What's he priced at?
5, I think.
I think I'd be on, if you had exactly 5 million, I think I'd be on Alaba over Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez might take penalties though. That's if he's nailed on penalties, then I think the upside of that is pretty solid. And
a lot of set pieces. I got 2 positions left to fill. I need a defender and I need a midfielder. 19 million left to spend, so I can spend a lot of money.
It's not bad.
Oh, I can put the German boys on the bench potentially.
Who's the most expensive midfielder, or who are the premium mids?
De Bruyne, Thorgan Hazard, Bruno Fernandes. I could put some Portugal lads in, but Ferran Torres, Depay.
Yeah, let's get
Spain.
Yeah, go for a bit of Spain.
Torres and Alba. Yeah. There we go. Spain, Alba. Boom. Right, I got 3.5 million in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
And bench Gnabry and Muller.
You could maybe go Chanaloglu. Did you take Chanhaloglu?
I can take him out, definitely.
You could go him to Bruno, couldn't you, for the Hungary game?
Oof, I could, mate. Like it. Boom.
That'll do.
Done. So that is the team done. Who am I captaining? Sterling?
Yeah, you got to, surely.
Yeah. Set as captain. Kane vice captain. Done. There we go. Team done.
Solid.
That is unlucky number 13. Ooh.
So many entries.
Yeah, because it's quite a few. Don't know why I got that one. There you go. Nice little
You
ticket.
don't even know at this point.
Nice little ticket. Yeah, take that. Lovely stuff. Right. You never know, it might go off in a minute. We have to do another one. Right, shall we have a look at one of my entries on here?
Go for it.
There it is. Look, there's the bad boy. So I've gone for triple Portugal, triple Spain, triple England, and then triple Sweden on my bench. So I've got Patricio, Diaz, and Ronaldo as my triple Portugal. I think Patricio and Diaz are going to be playing every game, and I do fancy them, obviously, to keep clean sheets in this group. It's just against France I'm a little bit worried, but I do potentially think they can keep a clean sheet against Germany anyway. I think triple Spain, I could see Spain doing really well defensively in this tournament. So Pau Torres and Laporte, I feel like Laporte's nailed on to play. Pau Torres, I feel like will get that centre-back partnership with him. And then Ferran Torres in the middle. I like Ferran Torres anyway. And then triple England. So Stones, Foden is my vice-captain and Kane is my captain up top. I think that's a nice little entry, personally. Triple Sweden on the bench, so I can bring in the Swedish boys. I can get rid of Ericsson and Bale for the next week, and I can bring in some Swedish lads. I feel like they could do quite well. Forsberg and Isaac in particular. And then Schuning can potentially come in for Patricio if I feel like they won't keep a clean sheet against Portugal. So, do you know what? I think that's all right. I don't mind that at all.
Yeah, solid. Yeah, as I say, the only issue is Spain, but maybe because people like me have kept away from them.
Yeah.
If they do now, if now they do recover from COVID and everybody's playing and they do well, you're going to absolutely smash it with a triple up of Spain.
Yeah, exactly. I think it'll be all right. I genuinely think it'll be all right. I think they'll be doing everything they possibly can to make sure they can play, and I think they'll be fine. I genuinely think they'll be fine. Don't get me wrong, I'm not involved in the whole thing, so it's not like I can definitely tell you that everything's going to be fine, but I do think it will be. So no, that's just one of my entries. But like I said, I've now got 13, so I'm doing okay. But we'll see what happens. Bale and Ericsson in the middle there as well. Pot shots from outside the box, all that kind of stuff. You know, if it starts piling up with shots on target, then I feel like those are the kind of players that could do it. Triple England, I've only got triple England, I think, in 2 of my entries. Actually, that's not true. That's 3 now. We'll see how that goes as well. Right, I reckon we've only got a couple minutes left, mate. So, before we finish off, because obviously we want to be there for the Italy game, don't we? Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Everybody that's in the chat, by the way. Luke, if you had to say now, who do you think is going to win the tournament?
I can't look past France. I think they're too strong.
Yeah, France and mine as well. They're just so good. I feel like they're gonna come out well out of that group, and then they're just not going to be able to be stopped after that. And who's your player you think's gonna kill it?
I think Romelu Lukaku is going to be my top scorer. I think you're looking at 6 to 7 goals. I think, which is a fantastic return, and obviously off the back of that, with new management at Inter, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a bit of interest from England. You know, the likes of Chelsea and City coming after Lukaku potentially. Yeah.
TRP Cereals, by the way, has just asked Carrasco or Mason Mount. For 1 week, I go Carrasco. For the 3 weeks, I go for Mason Mount. You?
Yeah, completely agree. Completely agree.
Rich P said the same. Right, we are going to leave you there, guys, because we don't want to be streaming while the Italy game's going on, because if you're in this chat, you want to be watching it, and you know that we want to be watching it as well. So from both of us, I mean, thank you very much for joining us. I think we got up to about 45-50 at one point, which is amazing considering it's quite late notice that you found out. So it's amazing that thank you very much that you've been on with us. And we do apologise for the graphics down below. It was an old overlay that we got, but we've done our best with what we've got. So we hope you enjoyed the tournament. Luke, cheers. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Not a problem. Enjoyed it. Yeah. Just on to the Euros. It's coming home.
Oh, mate, can't wait. Literally can't wait. So for all of you, good luck. We hope you do well in this massive tournament that FanTeam set up for us. And we will